Today I'm going to be unboxing and installing the DJI Phantom 3 standard Wi-Fi signal range extender by Argtek/Blue Proton. This one was ordered from Blue Proton. It's got Blue Proton's part number there, and it's got some instruction videos, but I'm going to make my own. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. I haven't broken the seals yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, seals have been broken. So here's what comes inside. Looks like something got stuck. So we have one 2.4 gigahertz panel antenna, 7 dBi. We have another one, which is identical. And inside of this part, we have the nice little holder, which just goes directly on top of the existing antenna area. These IPX tips, which will pop right onto the existing cards. A screwdriver, if you've never had a screwdriver in your life, apparently now you do. And a 5 gigahertz directional antenna. So here's the DJI Phantom 3 standard original remote. We're going to get this thing opened. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll get the screws unscrewed and then we'll get started. So I've already taken off the screws and the bottom comes off pretty easy here, but the top gets stuck at the tip where the antenna is. So you just have to do a little bit of a dance, rock it back and forth just a little bit until it comes loose. So at this point you can open your controller, and what you're going to do is remove this wire here. Okay, remove the battery. Be careful with the battery connector because I broke mine. So, and then remove the charging port here. And now you can set the two aside. So now that you're in the remote controller, what you want to do is remove all this plasticky silicone on top of each of these three connectors. This is the Wi-Fi, the 2.4 gigahertz, and this is the 5 gigahertz. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. Be very careful. If you screw this up, you're going to need a new remote controller. So be very careful when you take that off. I got most of the silicone removed. Each IPX connector is now loose, as you can see. See, they're freely moving around. And so what you're going to do is very carefully, you want to lift straight up and take the connector directly up and off. Don't bend it to the side. You can really easily break off the connector and you'll just have to either solder on a new one or buy a new remote. So I'm not going to show you that because I have to be very careful doing it. You'll see it when I take it off. Okay, so I've done it. I have all three removed from their corresponding parts, and you'll see I cleaned off the silicone pretty well. They were pretty difficult to remove, I gotta say, but you have to just lift up straight out and they will come off. So the next step is to remove this 5 gigahertz antenna. I believe the best position is to have it with the open side facing you, and putting a little pressure on it and just rocking it back and forth until it comes out. Okay, I dropped it there, but rocking it back and forth until it just falls out, so it's open like that. Okay, so the next step is, after you've removed that 5 gigahertz antenna, is to actually put this down for a second and go to your new top piece. Now, with this part facing you, you're going to slip each of the new 3 connectors in through the hole, like so. Paying careful attention just to make sure that they don't lock up with anything. And then match up the grooves onto the new controller like that. We know that the longest one is going to be for the 5 gigahertz. So let's just route this one straight down to 5 gigahertz. And very carefully snap it into place. Just like so. It's a good tight connection. And then with your other ones, just going to match up how they were before. The black one is the second longest, so it's going to go to the second longest for this connector. Get it into place. Be very careful. And then pop it right on. And the same with the third connector. They're not exactly straight from the factory. Let's go. And pop it, go straight on. So now we've got our 5 gigahertz there, our 2.4 gigahertz there, and our other 2.4 gigahertz there. Black, white, black, and gray. I put some hot glue over here, if I could show you. Put some hot glue here to hold the wires there. I looped the old connectors so that I don't have to remove it completely. Just looped it around so it's not feeding into that tube. And put everything back together. Now it closed up just fine. So put that there. And put this with the nuts in the correct spot, which is actually this way on the back. Okay, flip it back over. So it's like that. And now we could go ahead and screw it back on. And we are back in business. So now here comes the easiest part, and that's putting the antennas on. So obviously the middle one is going to be the 5 gigahertz. So let's get this thing unwrapped. I always make this hard to get out. Okay, get the plastic off and screw that on. Okay, and then the individual 2.4 gigahertz antennas. Okay, and you're going to want the panels facing out. So when you're flying, you're going to have a setup somewhat like this, so you can get your distance range. And now that the antennas are screwed on, let's just double check that the remote still works. And it does. So that's how you do the modification for the Argtek extender, and hopefully you enjoy my video.